What's up, everybody? Welcome to CFP Talks. My name is Joe Nissim, and with me, as always, is the very slim, the very trim, the very jacked Mr. David Fuchs.
Yeah, I think you're the more like the jacked one.
And, dude, I'm just trying to keep up with you, okay?
Some people when they ask me, they're like, because like obviously, as you guys know, like a lot of Joe's business and interactions with his clients and prospective students are on Zoom. So like there's a lot of people that have never actually met you in person. I have, obviously, but they people ask me like, oh, like they'll ask me like, oh, like have you met Joe in person? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm like, he's fucking yoked. I'm like Joe's the jacked one, not me.
I
But yeah,
I
I'm
get, I
like
get, I
he's
get
pretty.
very, I get, there's a buddy of mine here in LA who is like one of my closest friends, but also my arch nemesis. His name is also Joe. This dude walks around at like 12% body fat. Like he's just all year round. He is just wired this way, man. Like the dude just like you go into his fridge on a Sunday afternoon and it's just Tupperware of chicken and ground beef. That's it.
Mhm.
Like just one tub of chicken, one tub of ground beef, one tub of vegetables, and like a few other things. I'm like, and he reminds me of every time that he can, he's just like, I'm just leaner than you, so just deal with it. I'm like, Just deal with it." And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to. But David, actually, we were talking a little bit about this before we got started, and this conversation stemmed 2 cycles ago. We started having this conversation.
It was either I think yeah, because I think this is now like the third time we're talking about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been I can actually tell you when it started. It started because I was on my way up to my buddy's wedding in October of 2023. So November, March. Yeah. So yeah, this is the third
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So to give everybody some background, the reason this conversation stemmed was I had a student that, a prospective student, I should say, that I met with, and he said something in that session where he goes, "You know what, Joe? If I could just pay $10,000 to get the CFP, I would. I just don't want to deal with this crap." And then he went on to also have a conversation with David, which he reiterated the same exact sentiment. And me and David were kind of chatting about it and laughing about it, going, man, this guy he just does not want to put the work in. And, the more and more I thought about it, the more me, and David talked about it, we are like, man, that's actually a really, really bad attitude to have. And it really wasn't until that moment, David, that I realized that there was more students than I actually had realized that had that attitude. And obviously the more that I work with CFP students, and CFP has become one of the bigger parts of my business now,
Mhm.
the more and more that I see CFP students and I meet with them, and I used to meet with maybe one or two a week previously. Now it's closer to three or four prospective students a week. So now with the increase in volume, you start to see this where one of the worst attitudes that you can have is trying to buy your way to a pass.
Yeah.
To me, this is honestly, it is, and it commits a sin on so many levels. And it's certainly not exclusive to the CFP, but when you try to do it in something for your career, I tend to consider it to be just so incredibly, I don't know, it just bothers me at my core. Like it just pisses me off that, like, you're doing something for your career and you want to help clients and you want to build a book, but you're trying to buy your way out of it. And this is not something you can buy your way out of it. It's like there's no Ozempic shot for the fucking CFP. It just doesn't happen that way, right? Like you just can't do that. You got to put the work in because that's the only way it will last and you'll actually get results out of your career. And I don't know, it's just, to me, it's just so lazy, and it's so, it is just, it's going to only take you down a road of shortcuts, and you're going to end up fucking yourself so bad trying to find shortcuts after shortcut. Because the thing is that once you start paying for a result, when it doesn't work, you're paying for another result and another result and another result. And you look up and you've now spent 10, 15, 20 grand when you could have been doing the work and getting some true guidance and somebody who's pushing you to work. If your CFP instructor or class is not pushing you to work, this shit ain't gonna work. Wow, that was profound, huh?
Long. I mean, obviously Joe's very passionate about that. I think it makes sense because, if you take his class, or if you know Joe, you know that that's the complete literal opposite of his philosophy on prepping for this exam. Like, any of the shortcuts that people bring up, I'm just going to take 1,000 practice questions, or I'm just going to pay to do like a boot camp, or I'm going to pay someone to do this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not really going to have to put in that much work. I'm going to be able to kind of live my life and just have this set it and forget it attitude. um it makes sense why you feel that way about someone saying, hey, what do I have to pay to pass this exam? Who do I have to pay to pass this exam? Because it goes against all the fundamentals, and it goes against the whole reason of really taking the exam. The whole point of taking the exam is to advance your knowledge and to advance the profession. If everybody can just pay to pass the exam, then what's the point of the letters?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not the CHFC, and the thing is that I think what bothers me so much is I feel like it's such an arrogant attitude that you can pay for something and then get credibility for something that you haven't earned.
It's an entitled attitude.
Like
It's very entitled.
like, and here's the thing. I know, I've said this to you in the past. The CFP doesn't lie. It doesn't give a shit about how rich you are, how poor you are, even to some extent how smart you are, because it's not really an exam of just intelligence. There's a lot of discipline that's involved.
Yeah.
We'll cover that at another time. But the thing that bothers me about this attitude is it discredits every other person who busted their ass
Actually,
to get it.
for sure, 100%.
Like there is a lot of very, very smart, capable people in this industry who work their ass off to put those letters behind their name to just, and again, for some people, they don't even really need the letters. They do such a great job with their clients. They get referrals. They go to networking events. They put themselves in positions to succeed with their book of business and going after new clients. They don't really need the letters, but they do it anyway. And they'll take the time and effort and stay up late and get up early and be disciplined and integrate it. And then you think that you can come along and just pay a bunch of money because I got some money in my bank account or I got a credit card and now I'm going to swipe away my way to the CFP. Get the
That is
fuck out of
painful.
here. I don't want you to take the CFP. I don't want you in the industry because
Joe's like,
then
get the fuck out.
get the fuck out. Because think about it this way, man. If that's your attitude, what are you going to do when you truly have a client problem? You're going to weasel your way out of that one too? You're going to hide
Yeah.
underneath your desk? Like wake the fuck up. We don't need any more pencil pushers in the financial advising world. We don't need any more product pushers. Anybody can sell any fucking mutual fund they want. Where are you going to be when your client needs you? And if that's your attitude here when things get tough, that's definitely going to be your attitude when the market drops 25%.
Yeah. I mean, so this particular individual, and this is now the third time we're doing this like topic. I really wonder if he's ever listened to this, but this individual, as we said, also said it to me, and my first thought was, this entitled little brat wants to just pay his way to get the letters, to put it on his business card, to put it in his email, to try and show off and market himself.
Yeah.
That's the part that pissed me off, honestly.
And if that is your only motivation for taking the exam, Think about going and doing something different.
Yeah, and again, like just going back, that's not the point of the exam, but that's also when we say that's a terrible attitude to have, it's not just like, oh, we frown upon that attitude, but like it's pretty common and it's acceptable. That's just the way it is. It's a bad attitude to have because that's not the type of outlook and attitude that's going to get you to pass. Because again, on this exam, you can pay people to help you get a better SAT score, as we know. You can pay people to help you do better in whatever high school class or whatever class you're taking. This exam, it's very hard to just say, I'm going to pay someone and they're going to help me pass because you need to put in the work.
Correct. And let me make a very big distinction on this. I'm not saying don't hire tutors or don't go into a class and pay the money to work with the best people that are going to put you in the best position to succeed, but that implies you're going to work. You come into a NISM tutoring class, you're going to work. I'm going to ensure it. I'm going to make sure that you're working. Your schedule is outlined for that work. But if you're going in and, I'll never hate on anybody who invests money into themselves. If somebody's trying to learn how to swing a golf club and they pay a really good instructor $200 an hour and they go and see that instructor and then go to the range when they're not there and they send videos and I give that person respect
Totally.
because it takes guts to invest in yourself because now you're
Yep.
saying that I'm holding myself up to a higher standard or I'm investing in myself and I'm going to put that faith and belief in myself to spend that amount of money to swing a golf club. Respect. I don't give a shit what it is. I don't care if it's swinging a golf club, learning how to play poker. I don't care what it is. If you're that dedicated and willing now to put your money where your mouth is, I salute you, right? And if you have the resource to do it, even better on you. However, if you're just trying to pay your way through it for somebody else to do it for you, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Let's end on that. Get the fuck
And
out.
on that, get the fuck out. No,
Wow.
seriously, like, get the fuck out. Like, no.
Clearly, like I just don't bring that shit to my doorstep. On that note, everybody, we hope that you found this episode helpful. As always, please contact David or myself with any questions, comments, or concerns, and we will see you guys on our next show.